Shriners Children's Lexington, the most amazing care anywhere.
Coming up on Mountain News at 11, former President Donald Trump is accused of doing everything in his power to overturn the 2020 election.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The January 6th committee held its 8th hearing in prime time tonight. You just saw the coverage conclude here on CBS and WYMT. Committee members went over then President Trump's refusal to quell his supporters' violence on Capitol Hill. CBS's Skylar Henry recaps the hearing.
President Trump went to the private dining.
The House Select Committee investigating January 6th detailed former President Trump's inaction as his supporters stormed the Capitol.
This man of unbridled destructive energy could not be moved, not by his aides, not by his allies.
For more than 3 hours from the time Mr. Trump finished his speech to when this video was posted.
So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Aides say the president sat in the White House watching the violence unfold.
And who on the staff did not want people to leave the Capitol?
I can't think of anybody.
What about the president?
Yeah.
She said the staff.
2 administration officials who resigned told the committee that Mr. Trump ignored multiple pleas to call off the attack.
If the president had wanted to make a statement and address the American people, he could have been on camera almost instantly.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger said he resigned after seeing Mr. Trump's tweet attacking Vice President Mike Pence.
I simply didn't want to be associated with the events that were unfolding on the Capitol.
Mike Pence, traitor! Pottinger said the tweet added fuel to the fire, and as the mob moved through the Capitol, Secret Service agents protecting Pence started to fear for their own lives.
There were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth.
The committee's vice chair, Wyoming Republican Liz Cheney, announced additional hearings will be held this September. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Mr. Chairman.
As for the missing Secret Service text messages from January 5th and 6th that the committee wants to see, the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General is conducting its own probe and asked the Secret Service to stop its internal investigation. The IG says any wrongdoing it finds will be referred to the Justice Department for possible criminal charges. The Supreme Court voted Thursday not to override current immigration policies. A lower court previously blocked the Department of Homeland Security from changing immigration enforcement priorities. DHS wants to prioritize deportation for immigrants it believes pose a threat to public safety, but Texas and Louisiana sued to stop the change. By deciding not to hear the case, the Supreme Court has left the lower court's ruling in place for now. But the court will hear arguments on the case's merits during the December term. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson dissented on the vote, her first since she was sworn in at the end of June.
Well, after clouds to start the day, we actually managed to clear out and warm up pretty nicely throughout the afternoon and evening hours. We remain mild and muggy, but a whole lot calmer than we were this time 24 hours ago. Outside right now from London Corbin Airport, all is quiet. Mid-70s outside right now, and it is mild and muggy. Downtown Whitesburg, all quiet as you'd expect, 4 after 11. 71 the current temperature, and that's also the current dew point, so they're right on top of each other, so it's feeling pretty muggy outside. Temperatures today got up into the middle and upper 80s around the region. Irvin, I think, at one point got to 90, not shown on the map here. That's not too far away from normal. We should be about 85 this time of year, but we're going to blow those numbers out of the water as we head into the next few days, and you're going to want to hop into some water because you're going to need to cool off. Low to mid 70s out there right now. Still 77 at Jackson at this hour, 76 Prestonsburg, Pikeville. No rainfall to worry about. Closest showers south of the Tri-Cities. So we're in good shape through tonight. Partly cloudy skies turning mostly clear. Middle and upper 60s for us with light and variable winds. Now the latest on how warm it gets over the next few days, and if we could see some relief in the next 7. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Knox County deputies received a call on Tuesday about a possible domestic disturbance at a home in Flat Lick. When they arrived, the caller met them at the door while the suspect, John Brandon Gray of New Tazewell, Tennessee, tried to run out the back door. They say when one deputy caught him, he ran back inside and locked the door before running out the front to try and get into a car he arrived in. After a struggle where he jumped in the driver's window and tried to run over deputies while another person in the car kept their foot on the brake, Gray was tased after failing to stop when told to by officers. Gray was taken to Barberville ARH for treatment, and once cleared, he was arrested and charged with attempted murder of a police officer, assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and public intoxication. Two more Republicans say they'll be at this year's Fancy Farm picnic out in western Kentucky. According to Kentucky Today, Attorney General Daniel Cameron and State Representative Savannah Maddox have promised to attend. Both are, of course, running for governor. State Auditor Mike Harmon and Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles have also RSVP'd. They are also candidates for governor. On the Democratic side, Governor Beshear has yet to share his plans for the picnic, which is set for August 6th. Well, Governor Beshear talked about changes to Kentucky's SNAP benefits during his weekly address today. The governor said during their last session, lawmakers passed a bill that significantly cut down on the amount of benefits families receive. The governor vetoed the bill, but the Republican-controlled legislature was able to override it. Governor Beshear says that caused Kentuckians to lose about $46 million in benefits.
Sadly, the majority of Kentucky lawmakers voted to reduce food benefits, even as our nation struggles with the biggest increase in food costs in decades. Payments to low-income Kentuckians and Kentucky families dropped in May when the General Assembly opted out of an ongoing federal program that made our state eligible for an increase in food assistance.
The governor encouraged Kentuckians impacted by the loss of SNAP benefits to go to governor.ky.gov/tips to save for more resources. President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. The White House says the 79-year-old is experiencing very mild symptoms. The president is taking Paxlovid to battle the virus. The president is fully vaccinated and has received 2 boosters. The White House says the president is isolating and is doing great. As the latest wave of COVID causes a surge of infections across the United States, more people are catching it for the second or even third time. The rapidly spreading BA.5 subvariant is now causing about 80% of new COVID infections in the U.S. That's according to new data from the CDC. The number of reinfections has almost doubled compared to previous waves. Researchers blame a mix of factors for the jump, including waning immunity and mutations that have caused this variant to sneak past the body's defenses. Thankfully, reinfections don't seem to be happening back to back. Researchers say on average, people getting reinfected now last had COVID about 9 months ago. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron is challenging the president's vaccine mandate. His team argued their case in front of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. Cameron says he's fighting what he's calling federal overreach. He's challenging the vaccine mandate for federal contractors. Cameron says the decision should be made on a state level.
We're doing the work here at the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals to make sure that we're standing up for the interest of our state.
In a statement, the White House says the Justice Department will vigorously defend the mandate and said the mandate works. If you've ever received a robocall saying we've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty, you're certainly not alone. The FCC said Thursday U.S. telecom providers will be required to block millions of those robocalls every day. The order targets a group of 13 people and 6 companies specifically. That group is accused of sending more than 8 billion messages advertising extended vehicle warranties since 2018. Most of those calls are considered illegal under U.S. law. The FCC said telecom companies that continue to allow the illegal calls could face penalties. 3 weeks ago tonight, 3 Floyd County officers and a K-9 died in a shootout. Several others were injured, including Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Lawson. He talked to us earlier today from his hospital bed in Lexington. He's gone through 7 surgeries to save his leg, but he also had the opportunity to watch the funeral services of his 3 fallen brothers.
I was able to watch the whole procession as it came in to the gravesites, and it was beautiful. The horse-drawn carriages and how they done it, and they were definitely honored.
Lawson is set to have his 8th surgery tomorrow. He says he expects to be in the hospital for a couple more weeks. Operation Unite is wrapping its summer camp tomorrow, celebrating their first year back since 2019. Middle school students gathered at Morehead State University this week to learn about drug abuse and how they can change the future of addiction in Appalachia. Those involved say community partnerships are what makes the camp a success for the more than 100 kids who signed up this year.
And that word together is the key. Our partners come together. We all have the same purpose, the same mission. We want to make our communities healthier, safer, and it's by working together that we're able to do that.
The kids enjoyed messy games to close out their Thursday, and a ceremony is planned for tomorrow with a guest speaker to help close out the week. The Challenger Learning Center in Hazard hosts many camps in the summertime, but today's emergency camp taught students about how to stay safe in a crisis situation. 14-year-old Zachary says this camp is helping him navigate his future career. Zach says his loved ones were in an accident years ago, and he was inspired by the people who helped his family.
I've been in a lot of accidents, but the real reason is I'm going to be a trauma surgeon. I'm going into biomed this year in high school when it starts back, and I'm going to, I think I really need to know this for my career.
Employees hope the emergency camp inspired campers to go out and help save lives. Families throughout the region are catching a bit of a break with regards to back-to-school shopping. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from officials in the Floyd and Knott County school districts about how they are providing free school supplies to all students.
School districts throughout the region are helping families through an economically challenging time.
We are experiencing some of the worst inflation rates this country has ever seen. Everybody in this district is well aware of that, so we want to do everything in our financial capability to help offset that expense for parents.
By providing free school supplies to pre-K through 12th grade students throughout their districts. In both Floyd and Knott County, this is the second year their boards of education have approved the usage of ESSER funds for free supplies.
It's really important, you know, as we have extra funding, that we're just so blessed to be able to share that with our families in this way to help provide school supplies for every child.
Providing students with the basics.
It'll provide pencils, paper, pens, binders, markers, crayons, just whatever the teachers feel like their students need, that's what we're going to purchase.
And allowing teachers to focus on teaching while students focus on learning.
That's just something teachers don't have to determine what is my supply list, how to get that out to families. Families don't have to worry about that, and it does help them to just be able to focus on the teaching and learning.
Breaking barriers and lifting burdens for families throughout the region. Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
The Superintendent Hoover says this could significantly lower stress levels for many families who are struggling to make ends meet in these tough economic conditions. Still to come on Mountain News at 11, a popular music festival is returning to the Queen City of the Mountains tomorrow. We'll have a preview coming up.
Plus, you're going to definitely need to grab the sunscreen because temperatures are getting very hot as we head into the next couple of days. The latest on how high that mercury rises is next.